Hi, it's Asma, and this is From Different Perspective, the podcast where I talk about things I can't get out of my head. Back in 1948, more than 700,000 Palestinian Arabs were expelled from their houses. 22 of May 1948, more than 200 of the men and women in the Al Tantura were killed and buried in a mass grave that is about 4 meters wide and 35 meters long that represents today under the parking lot. 1948 Palestinian explosion from Lidda and Ramallah, also known as the Lidda Death March, was the explosion of 100,000 to 100,000 Palestinian Arabs when Israeli troops captured the town in July that year. 2. November 1948, the Jewish IDF killed 15 men from Kharbat al-Wara Sauda. One survived and the village was completely obliterated. April 9, 1948, the Yassin massacre took place when around 130 fighters from the Zionist paramilitary groups killed and murdered more than 107 Palestinian villagers. Around 12 to 50 of them got injured. Israelis controlled 774 towns and villages during the Nakba. They destroyed 531 Palestinian towns and villages. Israeli forces' atrocities also include more than 70 massacres against Palestinians, and also the killing of 15,000 Palestinians during the Nakba time. 4th of November, Gaza's Ministry of Health said the death toll has risen to at least 10,022 Palestinians, including 4,104 children, with many victims still trapped beneath their rubble. That was in 2023. Like right now. Last month, October. In 2011, around 105 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip were killed by the IDF. From 1967 until today, Israeli forces arrested around 750,000 Palestinians, including nearly 1,200 females and thousands of children. 7,342 Palestinians were killed in the period from September 29, 2000 until December 31, 2010. 7,235 Palestinians were killed by the end of 2009. 2,183 of whom were in the West Bank, 2,059 males and 124 females. 50,015 Palestinians were killed in the Gaza in 2009. 4,601 of whom were males and 414 females. The remaining number were Palestinian. 2000 was the bloodiest year in which 1,219 Palestinians were killed, followed by 2002 in which 1,192 Palestinians killed, while 107 were killed during 2010, including 9 Turkish solidarity activists. Around 6,000 Palestinians are still in Israel prisons, 820 of whom have received multiple life sentences, as well as 37 female prisoners and 245 children. At that form, 4.1% of the total number of prisoners. 136 prisoners have been held for 20 years, 41 prisoners have spent more than 25 years in prison, and 4 prisoners have spent more than 30 years. That's, in total, is 2,010,905 Palestinian Arab citizens in Palestine during 1948, 2011, and 2023. Let alone of the numbers of the prisoners that I've said, and let alone the rest of the years between 1948 and 2023. Just let all of that alone and focus on the numbers that I've just said in 3 years. 1948, 2011, 2023. That's 2 million. Arab and mostly Palestinian were murdered in those only 3 years. What if we try to count all the numbers from starting from 1948 until 2023, each child, each woman, each man, each elderly that have been murdered and killed unjustifiably in Palestine for the past 75 years. I mean, that's the only evidence. That's literally the only evidence that you need to know that Israel is the terrorist people and not Hamas, as they say, obviously. Because at this point, I think like the entire world, everyone in this world is like turning a blind eye on what they're doing. Not only in Gaza, I mean, what they have been doing for the past 75 years. Because literally, I mean, the whole entire world is just turning a blind eye. That's first. And second, like the entire world reaction is like, I mean, let them. They're just poor Jewish. They went through a lot. You mean, Holocaust, Hitler, and so many rough things. I do condemn violence. That's first. And my religion do condemn violence. And I won't ever want anyone to be murdered or killed or burned alive as they happened in the Holocaust for whoever you like, be Jewish, Muslim, or be whoever you are. I would never want anyone to go through such a thing as Holocaust that happened to the Jewish people. But I don't think that would give you the permission and that would justify your actions to go and colonize a country. And on top of that, you create your own country in the expense of killing 2 million Palestinians in only 3 years. And then people are like, Israel is the victim. I mean, literally, they're the victim. Honestly, I clearly see they're the victim. I'm 14 years old, by the way. I'm 14 years old. I'm not even a teenager yet. And I can see the truth by myself. I don't even have to ask my mom or my father, or I have to ask some, to go in an interview to ask, do you condemn Hamas anytime? Because I know the truth, for sure. I've researched a lot. My religion tells me same. And without even being like religious, you can see the truth clearly. Some people say that they haven't really committed. You can't really tell the numbers are true. You can't tell that this is like actually accurate. If you want some law, I'm not fluent at law language. I don't know how law works, honestly. But I know that they have committed a lot of war crimes that the US government have been turning blind eye, and the UN and everybody have been turning blind eye because of these war crimes. And first, rules of war, or whatever you would like to say. I'm not really sure about this, but I've heard people saying it a lot. And I would like to confirm if it's right or wrong, because obviously you are the one who's fluent in law language, so you tell me if I'm right or wrong. War rules, or rules of war, whatever you want to call it. You cannot kill or target a journalist, first. You cannot spill a white phosphorus on some citizen, first. And that's second. And third, you cannot target hospitals, ambulances, schools, or refugee camps, because obviously these are where citizens are in. And when we are declaring war on another country, that means we are declaring war, and we're attacking the government on itself and not the citizens, the poor citizens that have absolutely done nothing to you. But we're just turning blind eye, it doesn't really matter anymore. Israeli people called Palestinian, like, actually, we're not dealing with human beings. We're dealing with animals. I don't know why I'm laughing, because it's pretty fun, because I'm sorry, I mean pretty. It's so funny because they themselves was once called rats, and now they're calling us animals. I mean, how funny. I mean, how funny. Like the victim now is turning to the oppressor is now turning to the oppressing. And honestly, again, whatever you want to call it, now you're gonna tell me that you own the land because your book or your religion or whatsoever tells you that you own it. Let's look at this from a non-religious POV. Okay, let's act that. Let me act as if I'm not religious, and you came and invade my country, and you'd be like, "I'm sorry, but my holy book tells me that this is my land back in 2000 whatever years ago. So yeah, get out." I would be like, I would be laughing at your face. Why would I have to believe your holy book? Because I'm not religious. I'm not religious. And this is not my book. And I'm not forced to believe on whatever you believe in. And I don't care about what happened in 2000, whatever years ago. Because this is my land. And my great grandfather lived here and died here. Okay? That does not give you the right to, like, that does not give you the right to you, the person who came from Europe or whatever, to come and invade my country and colonize it and call it your own Israel or whatsoever, and be like, yeah, my very very holy book told me so. So yeah, I'm going with with what my God has said to me. That's so dumb, honestly. I mean, I respect all religion, obviously. Don't take me wrong. I respect everyone. I am Muslim, but I respect everyone. Jewish, Christian, Hindu, whatever. I respect you. As long as you're not harming me. Okay? As long as you're not harming me, I'm okay with you. I don't have problem with you. But once you just, try to harm me, harm my people, harm my country, then that's when we get to the problem. You see? That's when we have a problem. Like, that's when we actually have to fight each other. And then suddenly everybody's like hashtagging anti Semitism. And I'm like, wait a second, what is anti Semitism in the first place? And somehow I realized that I am a Semitism. I myself, I'm Semitic. So how is it, does it work to be Semitic and anti Semitic at the same time? Because that's so fun. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Very funny. That's what I've said in the first of the episode is just a little bit of the numbers, accurate numbers, obviously, of the people who have been murdered and killed unjustified since 1948, 2011, and 2023, right? And some people who are very ignorant are coming and, people are saying, freedom of speech. And they'd be like, I'm going to give you my opinion on the conflict that is going on between Israel and Palestine. First, it's not a conflict. You cannot call it a conflict when one side has all the entire power in the world and has the greatest power of the world, US, beside it, who funded and supported and everything, while the other side doesn't have a government or doesn't have nothing, and just have a bunch of young people who are sacrificing their lives to go and free their land with the very, very basic equipment that they have. And you tell me that this great government is trying to attack this really, really small young man who are just going with literally homemade equipment to go and fight you. I mean, you call yourself the very, very great government, but you cannot even defeat them? I mean, that's so funny. Because half of your population are now out of Israel, literally. Half of the population are now out of there because they don't want to get into problems with the president and the country and whatsoever you want to call it. Because if a person actually and honestly and truthfully owns the land, They would not get out of it. They have another escape. They have another foreign passport that they can rely on whenever a war comes. Then they can go, which means that they are not willing to stay in the land that they pretend and allegedly say that they are their country. The Palestinian people are not even allowed to have a airport or even passport or whatsoever. The only place that the Palestinian now lives in is in the Gaza Strip first, and you have the West Bank, and then you have the people who live between the Palestinian people who live between the Israeli and have an Israeli nationality, but they are also getting treated really badly. And how would you, like, are you trying to convince me that it could be a solution? There is a solution. Two states. I mean, I really laughed, I haven't really heard about this thing until yesterday. I was, as usual, scrolling through Twitter or X, and I was like, I saw some Zionist tweets that are saying that we want peace and we want a solution and we have two-state solution, and it start explaining everything and whatsoever. And I was like, that is literally the funniest thing I've heard. Like, for the entire thing that is going in Israel right now, Jewish people, they're not Israeli, Jewish people, and I mean the Zionists, and I don't mean the Jewish people. There is Jewish who does not are Zionists, and there is Zionist who is Jewish. So I mean Zionist. So it's really funny seeing those Zionists talking about them having literally 99% of the entire country, and the 1% left, give it to the Palestinian, to the poor Palestinian who came here to, it's like shelter for them. That's literally their own country. And I'm trying, as you see, to not get emotion in this episode specifically. I'm literally trying to make fun and trying to make joke out of everything, because honestly, it's pretty complicated. And it's been going for 75 years and way more than that, and obviously it cannot be solved in like 1 month. But let me tell you what the two-state solution says, so you can also laugh along with me. The two-state solution says that Palestine can have also half of the country with a government, with an airport, with a passport, and everything. While the other side of the country gets the Israeli, who also build in there the Israeli state, where they get also a passport, airport, and government. But this is the exciting part. Hear this out. But the entire country will be under the Israeli government. How cool! I mean, as obvious, there's only two solutions. You either get one side out of the entire country, whether it be the Palestinian, whether it be the Israeli, or you divide the entire country in two halves, like two halves. You build an entire big wall, just like an Attack on Titan, and then you see this is mine and this is yours, and you go on a peace treaty. How can the great government, that, as you call it, the great government uploads a video saying that they literally found guns in Al Shifa hospital in an MRA room? Again, I'm gonna tell you again, I'm 14 years old, but I've studied in a school, and I know that weapons and guns cannot be in the same room in the same room where MRI works, right? Or am I the one in wrong? Because I have a sister who studies medicine, and anything that is metal cannot go, not even inside, beside or the same exact room that the MRI is in. You cannot let something that is made out of metal inside. Or am I the one wrong? I don't know. But now let's compare the people who have died from the Palestinian side and to the Jewish side. Because I haven't really researched any, because I know I won't find any anyways. But I won't research. I'm not really interested in how many of you died. That's first. Second, I really, I don't know. Because 2 million in only 3 years. What about the 75 years, like the entirety of the 75 years in Palestine that have been occupied? How many people have died in there? Like the people who have been documented, like have been said that they've been originally dead, like officially dead, and the people who have not been documented and said that they weren't dead. Palestine, during the time, before the time Israel has occupied it, was under the Britain government. Basically, Palestine was colonized by Britain at the same time, at that current time. And Britain also helped the Jewish people to come into the country and come and live beside the Palestinian peoples. Because at that time, not only Muslim people lived in Palestine, a lot of religion lived in there. Jewish, Christian, Muslims, Hindu, whatever. A lot of them lived in there. But then a atrocious, a number of Jewish people that you cannot believe are coming into the country so suddenly and are just taking land and selling and buying lands and expelling people who live in that lands and saying no, that now we own now that we own this place. And slowly they literally own the entire country, and now they are controlling everything that goes in and outside of Gaza, the West Bank, and it's so funny. It's so funny that I don't think I don't want to laugh about it anymore, because it is not a joke. That's first. It's not a joke, okay? And I wanted to somehow deliver a message in a sarcastic way. Okay, so if the message received, then I'm glad, I'm grateful. But if the message did not receive, then you somehow need to, I don't know, you need to do something about your life and about your brain specifically. Watching the videos of those Palestinian people being killed and murdered and tortured is honestly terrifying. It's very scary. And when I say scary, I mean I have nightmares about that. It's not acceptable. And we shouldn't be just like staring at those Palestinian people being killed and being murdered and tortured and unjustified, being held hostage. And now that we're saying that those people own the land because their very, very holy book have told them to, whatever 1,000 years ago, that they own the land. Now the entire world is beside them against this small little country just because they want their own country. I understand, honestly. I understand. If you want a country, I'm not against you. Go with it. Do whatever you want. But you came kind of late. Like really, really late. 98, 48, basically all the places in the entire world was already occupied. People lived in there already. So you cannot just go and live in the sea, I believe. I don't know. So I have nothing else to say. This was such a not really scripted, and I really didn't have a strategy or process to go through this episode. I was like, I wanted to make an episode where I say all the things that I wanted to say for the past couple of days, weeks, or months, whatever you want to call it. But I believe that this is going to be one of the last videos that are episodes, that I'm going to make about Palestine and the not not really Israel, the not existing country. But also, my sisters and my brothers in Gaza, we will always pray with you. And we will always hope that you will get your land back one day. And one day we will go back to Al-Aqsa, Al-Qubba Al-Sakhriya, we go pray. You'll finally get to celebrate Eid. You'll finally get to celebrate Ramadan with us. And again, as I've just said in the past episode, this entire world for Muslim people, is just dar اختبار and dar ibtila. And whatever distracts you from your deen and your religion, and whatever distracts you from worshipping Allah, that basically means that this is not a good thing for you. You should stay as far as possible from this thing. And what is happening in Palestine was a reminder to all of us, for who's a Muslim and who isn't Muslim, because a lot of people have not converted, sorry, because I'm going to make an episode soon, very soon, about converting and reverting. But honestly, what was I saying again? Yeah, so for Muslim and for not Muslim people, what's happening in Gaza right now have been a reminder to all of us. And it kind of awakes our humanity in us all over again. And that's it. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you again next episode on Monday. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.